Soul Society Breakdown. We're here today to discuss chapters 101 through 110 of Bleach, which Lawrence has just read for the first time. Lawrence, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. Yes, another 10 chapters down. However many to go. I don't feel like saying the number. It's definitely a high amount. But yeah, exciting
Yeah,
time.
it it could be higher.
Yeah, for sure.
So to recap where we last left off, Ichigo fought Renji and beat him.
Hmm.
Pretty much one shot. Ryu had a fight of his own and easily wiped the floor with his opponent.
Yep.
And this man to our right here was murdered. R.I.P. Aizen.
Damn. Gone
So
too soon.
jumping into things, we start off the set of 10 chapters with Momo in the aftermath of discovering Aizen's body. What did you think of what happens here?
Yeah, so obviously she's distraught. She sees Jin looking on, and the warnings from Hitsugaya. That's the guy. That's the kid's name.
Yeah.
The Hitsugaya. The warnings from Hitsugaya. Like watch out for the third division captain. Like it kind of echoed in her mind. Then she took it upon herself to attack, of course, and then the altercation led to like his second the second seat of the third division, like saying like back off from my captain, and they start fighting, and then Hitsugaya breaks it up, and it was like pretty much like, you guys go to your corners, we're sending you to
Mhm.
jail, take them to jail. And he threatens again, like, if you harm Momo, I'm going to kill you. So tensions are definitely high amongst the Soul Reaper, the upper echelons of the Soul Reaper community, especially between the divisions. um yeah, and he I think he also mentioned, the Hitsugaya mentioned that he felt like a murderous intent from Jin looking at Momo as well when
Mm.
she was coming towards him. So yeah, my inclination of him being the murderer is definitely, the case is only strengthening, like, by the moment. So
Mm.
yeah, I'm curious to see what he's up to.
All right. Uh, I guess next up in the order of things came Chad's flashback. What do you think of the little flashback to first meeting Ichigo?
Yeah, that was definitely a necessary flashback, because I was like wondering, like, I knew they were friends, but I was like, are you like, why is he like willing to take this like life risking mission, just to save like Ichigo's friend that he only probably had talked to for a total of like an hour, like, or 30 minutes, like, across like the amount of time that they've known each other. So it was kind of fascinating that he made that choice. But of,
Mm.
of course he, after seeing this and understanding that Ichigo came and saved like a precious heirloom of his, and
He
also
rescued
that
him.
himself, and rescued him, and then they made like a promise to each other that they'll like all like, well, at least like Ichigo and him made a promise that Chad will, like, even though he doesn't like want to fight anyone for himself, like he'll fight for Ichigo from now on and protect what Ichigo holds dear. So yeah, definitely powerful stuff, a great bond.
Hold on, keep talking on that. I need to try and pull up this image.
But yeah, so it was definitely some beautiful stuff there, beautiful moment. uh yeah, Chad also, like, before that altercation that led to him getting to that level, he just like one shot say a third seat captain a third seat in the eighth division, just like easy as pie. So
Yeah.
it's interesting to see like how big of a drop off there is from a captain seat to the third seat, just in power level.
It varies from division to division. Like, you meet Kenpachi's second in command here, and uh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but
Yeah.
do you have any guesses on Aizen's letter? That was the next thing that came up. What do you think the contents were? What do you think he was revealing?
I feel like it was something involving Jin and like his plan of like of how he was going to like mold the Soul Reapers and the Soul Society into like the image of like what he thinks it should be, or whatever their like underground group is trying to
Mm-hmm.
accomplish. And yeah, I feel like it was probably like something along those lines, like the what the plans of the rebellion are, and like how uh and maybe and then like who's involved in it. Pretty much, I think that's what it was all about.
Okay. Uh, any thoughts on the Shunsui fight between Chad and him?
Yeah, I really like Shunsui as a character.
Mm,
um because he like is he like he seems kind of like averse to like the like he'll fight if he has to fight, but he seems kind of averse to it. He's more into like hanging out, like having fun, like partying a little bit, like when they're about to fight, he's like, well, why don't we just like exchange cups of sake right now and sit down here, because like it's kind of pointless, like you obviously can't beat all of us, and I really don't, you seem like a good guy. I don't really want to like kill you. Like, and but he once Chad showed the resolve that was necessary, of course, due to the circumstances, he was like, okay, fine, I'll take you out here. And and even throughout the fight, it was like a very gentlemanly, very hard boiled brawl. Um, and also at the end when his I think was his second in command that was with him there.
yeah, that was his
Yeah.
vice captain.
Yeah, when his vice captain was like, should I take him out? He was like, no, it's not worth it. Like we don't know if he's really the cause, one of the we don't know if these invaders are the reason behind Aizen's
Mhm.
death. And if it's not, I don't think it's worth like taking his life over. We'll just call like the recovery corps, the recovery division or group to pick him up and throw him in jail, and then we'll like ask questions there.
Yeah, Shunsui's a chill dude. He's an interesting character whenever he pops up, and so I like whenever he's around.
Yeah, he kind of like gives me like Kuzan, like Aokiji vibes from like One Piece, kind of like he's not like absolute justice, like I'm going to
Mhm.
like skull fuck anyone that's like going against what we believe. He's more like, you know I still like believe in what we're like going for, but
Mhm.
I'm not going to like, go outside of like what I think is morally correct to get my desired outcome.
With that being said, we do have another big fight this chapter. What do you think
Hmm.
of the Zaraki Ichigo fight?
Yeah, the Zaraki Ichigo fight. Yeah, so Zaraki, he's obvious. He's just so arrogant at this point, because he's been winning so many of these fights. Like no one can cut him. Like he just gives Ichigo a free slice, free swing free swing, and then Ichigo can't even like get a paper cut like scratch on him. Um, and then like also, and then even after like Ichigo finally like finds resolve after kind of reflecting on um why he's doing this, and the fact that like he's trying to save Rukia, and then he has like Orihime and Chad and Uryu and all these people
Mhm.
like kind of relying on him to like guide them to the finish line in his mind. So like once he finds a resolve, he's able to like give him like a slight flesh wound. And then from then on, it was interesting how Zaraki was like giving him directions, giving him like an instruction
Mhm.
about like how he should fight him, and like these like you need to do this, this, and this to if you're trying to beat me. So almost like to the point of like it's an instructional video or like a paid training course or something. But even with that, Ichigo can't do anything, and unfortunate, but too. I think it was too soon. He there as we could tell, like based on how these 10 chapters end, he needs some further training before he'll be able to reach the captain level.
Yeah, Zaraki's in the thing is that he loves the fight. He enjoys every moment of pitting himself against someone else in life or
Yeah.
death, and it's a form of drunkenness to him.
Yeah, and it was interesting how when it's Ichigo, what's the other, Ganju,
Mhm.
and what's the other guy's name again, the fourth division, uh
Hanataro.
Hinataro, how when they all like encounter him together, and then Ichigo instructs Hinataro and Ganju to go forward, and he's kind of like looking at Zaraki. What's his name again? The 11th
Zaraki, yeah.
Zaraki. He's kind of looking at him like, so are you gonna do anything about this? Like, I just like you clearly know what my intentions are, and I like just sent these guys to, like, carry out my will. And he's like, well, I don't really care about them. I just want to fight. Like he's
Yeah,
like he said, he's all about, like, he's just all about, just proving his worth in the battlefield, kind of. Yeah.
he's not interested in a small fry.
Yeah.
Uh, so what did you think of Hollow Ichigo?
Was that how oh, okay, that's how the chapter ends, right?
Yeah.
With where Zangetsu like sends him back into like the inner world. What, I don't even know like what how to describe that, but he sends him back
Mhm.
there to like
Inner
train him,
World
and he
is, yeah.
inner world, and he has to fight the hollow version of Ichigo using his sword. Yeah, yeah, so it's interesting. He's gonna have to fight the hollow version of himself to succeed. Yeah, we'll see where it goes. Like, I'm definitely curious as to like how that will all work out, like how that fight, if they're going to have like similar moves, and it's going to be kind of like a game of inches in terms of like figuring out how to beat the like corrupted version of himself, or is that version of himself going to be way stronger, and he'll have to like find some other way to get the W, especially using like equipment that's substandard relative to Hollow Ichigo's Senpatu.
Yeah. So any predictions for the next 10 chapters?
Um, any predictions? Well, I feel like all the captains are going back to for the meeting to like discuss like the Aizen situation, and yeah, and like what their plan is to deal with these infiltrators as well, like to finalize whatever they're going to do in terms of that. um thinking Trying to think where Uryu and Orihime left off. Were they really in these 10 chapters, or Uryu and
No,
Orihime?
I don't think they appear.
Yeah, so we'll probably get an update as to like what they're doing. um yeah, beyond that, I think it's just going to be more like a continuation, and also
Mhm.
we're going to get the Ichigo like
Yeah.
training stuff going on.
Let's round things out with your thoughts on the volume 13 poem
Yeah.
for the undead.
Yeah.
Every time we set aside our pride, we take a step closer to the beast. Every time we kill an emotion, we take a step away from the beast.
Yeah, I definitely can see how that relates to the what's going to happen with this volume in terms of Ichigo trying to like find his like inner killer instinct in terms of like
Mhm.
dealing with all of the captain, like the captain level of like soul energy, and kind of like maintaining that. So yeah, definitely very relevant in terms of like a poem. There have definitely been better poems, but in terms of like how it relates to what's going to happen in this volume, I imagine definitely relevant.
I give this one a thumbs up.
Yep. I mean, it's good. Like, I'm not saying like,
Yeah.
but there've been a few better.
Yeah. All right. Have anything else you want to say before we end it out?
Yeah, just two brief things I wanted to mention that were kind of like more like offhand stuff. Like there was a little
Mhm.
like extra chapter where you got to follow Kojima at meeting like Chad and Ichigo, and how like they like him and what's the other friend's name, like the kind of that this like Joe Kojima and his
There you
friend
go.
that's like Ego, and they how they were both like kind of nervous about Ichigo and Chad being these like bullies that were going to like run the school and like give him a hard
Hmm.
time, but then like he's like kind of realizes, oh, these guys are going to be friends for life for me, and he's like very like happy about that. So that was a fun little extra chapter. And then the only other thing I want to mention is like one of those like ending chapter like interstitials that are kind of added at the end. That was like a
Hmm.
fun little sketch of like one of the teachers being concerned that they're missing Uryu and Orihime from the stitching club, And it's like, oh, we're not going to be able to make it to nationals without Orihime and Uryu. So I was like, oh, that was kind of like a little fun.
Yeah.
And
All right.
who knew there was nationals for that?
Both crucial members of the team.
Yeah, man, they're gonna have to go to their third in charge, their third seat. All right, but yeah, it's a fun 10 chapters for sure.
Thank you very much, everyone. Join us again for day 12 tomorrow. Bye.
Sounds good. Bye.